This started off just simply changing the axle shafts to CVDs to get more steering angle, but it started binding under full lock. It would stop the motor. Took it all apart. I couldn't figure it out. I changed the knuckles, which made a huge improvement, but after about 10 minutes of driving it would start doing it again. I changed the battery, thinking it was just a battery power supply. Again, that helped until you got down to about 3/4 of the battery and it would start bogging under full lock. Took it all apart. I ended up changing the rear links to high clearance, but in the process I decided to change the motor and I put an 050 Endura 50 turn motor in it, and that definitely fixed it. So I'm assuming, because when I did the front axle I also added weights, added some weights to the wheels, axle weights, and I think I just killed the motor. Just couldn't supply enough power, overcoming the weight and the extra turning radius. I guess motors just wear out. So we have improved steering, some extra weight. I actually got the brass knuckles back in it. Turns pitching now, no stalling. New motor with tons of torque. And the weight's just a lot more stability. I'm going to be changing the shocks because the springs won't. The truck, I mean, they're pretty marginal to begin with, this factory shock. This video mostly is about making links. Talk a little bit about the motor. Yeah, I was going in circles on this one. I hadn't realized that all the extra load I was putting on the motor would kill it, and was assuming that it was something to do with the turning, but the motor just didn't like it. I don't know. Video kind of jumps around. Maybe you'll gain something, maybe not. It's 17 minutes to figure out if it's really that dumb. But pretty happy. Nice with the new shocks. I'm getting replacement shocks. Forget the brand name. They're the same length, but they're oil filled, just to get rid of the bounce, and they're tunable. Anyway, enjoy. Some links for JLU. I've made links before, straight or taken aftermarket ones and bending them. This one I'm going to try to make high clearance links. I'm using threaded rod and sleeving it with 1/8 inch aluminum tube, which I've never done before, but I'm assuming I can sleeve these and then bend the whole thing together. I'm not going for a lot of length, about 1/4 inch longer, and then double bending will take up some of that, so it might end up 1/8, 3/16 longer. I got the 2 lower links made and the tubing cut. Going to make the upper links the same amount, 1/4 inch longer. Lining these up, the rod ends, and then moving this one out so it's as much longer to this rod as this one is to this rod. So both the upper and lower are extended the same amount. The threaded rod inserts into the rod ends a little more than 1/4 inch, so I think that's about right. The upper links, I'm hoping they will end up straight. If I have to, I'll bend them, but I kind of don't want to. I'm not sure if I need to sleeve these, the upper ones. Sleeving will add a little rigidity, although being this short, they're pretty steep, and this takes a hard fall. To cut the 2mm threaded rod, I just use some the last thing that my videos are how-tos. They are how I did it, Mostly so if I want to repeat something in a month or two, figure out how I did it, because typically it's like, how the heck did I do that? It's even with that. This is even with the lower new rod. So new upper rod, there should be as much longer as the new lower rod is. If that makes sense. Just trying to keep the proportion between the upper and lower lengths to not change the angle of the axle. I don't mind if the upper one is a little longer because it rotates the driveline up. So we'll thread this together and see where we're at. And I usually mark, because once you start threading this, you can't tell how far in you are. And that's about where it's at. It just gives you some reference. I want to try to maximize full insertion. Okay. And on these ends, typically you just take your threaded rod. Obviously you have to deburr the ends when you cut it. I just usually use a file. Typically you just insert the thread rod in there pushing while you're turning, because these rod ends aren't threaded, it's just a plastic hole. These small ones though, I have a hard time with that. So I'm using a 2mm tap. Putting it in there and getting it started. And then thread it in a few turns. Just enough so the rod will start. I don't know if any of this is in focus. Oops. Okay, I think that's bottomed. Try to get these square. Okay, I look to be equally longer, top and bottom. And just need to make another one of these and sleeve the uppers. Try to bend them. See what happens. Okay, 2 of them focusing. Good. And sleeving these. Put the end back on, tighten it, and then see. Figure how I'm going to bend them. I have to bend it with the ends on. These square. Next one. Okay, sleeved. Ready to bend. Okay, I got a 1/16 inch drill bit between the two links. Stuck in the vise, these bend. Is this even? I'm going to try that. And double bent. See what this looks like. There's one end. Now, I used to do this on 10th scale quite a bit. Rod was considerably heavier. I don't even remember the size. And I do recall on double bends we used to have a problem with these flopping over, unscrewing themselves. Oops. Yep. A little too much. Right here. Drive line's lower.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, I realized that editing this video to make it something worth watching is going to be next to impossible.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks.
24 you up in the background. Yeah. Pretty cool. Let's see, here's a stock one. So you gain, wow, I realize the camera's not showing the same perspective, but you gain almost half an inch right here. Pretty cool. Now to get the upper ones in there and see if they hit. Sweet. The overall length, maybe 3/16 of an inch, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to replace this drive line. I don't think it'll come apart, but yeah, I don't know, it might stay together. It's just getting like a gladiator one and cutting it to the right length for more engagement. Putting them in the vise and bending it, it does put some little crinkles in this, but being aluminum tubing, you just get some fine sandpaper and polish those out. Not a biggie. Sweet. And install. Probably see that the lower links don't hit the upper links. If I was to sleeve it, it probably would. So I'm not sleeving the uppers. other side. Kind of hard to show. But yeah, this is definitely going to help. We're back on SCx24 JLU. Thought I had it fixed. You get down to about 2/3 of the battery and it starts doing it again. You turn full lock and it just stops the motor. The only thing that I haven't put down the cannon barrel is a new motor. And I put in a Endura 50 turn. And the battery right now is at 383. Getting down there. I usually cut off 3.8. But like I said before, battery driving after like 10 minutes and then it would start bogging again. The Endura bigger motor, I was at best hoping it put a little more torque that would overcome the bog. At 3.83 volts, I don't even notice it. Turn it on. I don't know if I can show this or not, but I'm holding the car from moving. Full lock either direction. And the wheels are on a silicone mat, so the torque is unreal. So, I guess motors just, I don't know. Anyway, just to follow up. Now to try to clean up the wiring again. Oh yeah, on the, when you put the 050 motor in, because it's bigger, a little bit longer. But anyway, on the battery tray, it hits this one leg, and most people just cut it off. But I was looking at it, and I had to figure out exactly why. I mean, it's simpler, and there's really no structure, I'll say, unless you're running a big battery. But I just cut the leg about in half, kind of dog-legged it, so this screw can still go in there, just for the heck of it. So we got a new motor. I changed the battery, which helped, and I thought that was it. But even it, when it gets down to 10 minutes or so, it wouldn't supply the motor with the power it needed when you were full lock turn. Anyway, that's enough of this. Now, here's something about these shocks. I guess just the weight of the new motor. It's slagging pretty good. And anyway, links